I've made it 500 kilometers from Delhi and 12,000 kilometers now from the UK. I'm in Burr, or Beer, in the foothills of the Himalayas. It's been stormy for a couple of days, but today there's blue sky. And we're going up there. I'm going to take you with me and tell you why Beer is very significant for me in paragliding and how I got started. How I went from a teenager with a dream of flying to carrying this 8-kilo flying machine up into the mountains. Let's go. Just made it back. What a stonking day. Before I left, I was going to tell you about why Burr is so important to me and paragliding. I started learning to fly because of my dad. I was about 13, he got me a trial gliding lesson and I got an aerotow up and spent half an hour flying around rural Norfolk. And from that point on, I joined the Air Cadets, a UK youth organisation which is funded by the RAF. So you get a hell of a lot of flying there. I flew in loads of military helicopters, military aircraft. You know, I wanted to pick it up myself. Through the Air Cadets, I joined a gliding school and spent 5 years gliding in rural Norfolk as well. And I spent lots of time flying and got a flying scholarship up at Dundee. But when I moved down to London, I really didn't have any chance to fly around London. It's very expensive. There's not a lot of places to fly. So while I was working one day, my dad sent me a video, and it was this documentary called Temples in the Clouds.
My name is Jim Allinson. This is my friend Enrico Patuzzi, aka Kiko, and this is the story of our journey to the temples in the clouds.
It's an hour-long documentary, and it follows a couple of guys who fly from here, right here in Burr. In fact, they hike up from here, like I did today. They are going in search of the highest temple, the highest inhabited temple in the mountains in the nearby region. It's pretty over the top. And they spend about a week flying somewhere which is pretty much 60 kilometers that way.
He wouldn't let us stay in his hut, but said we could sleep on a bit of flat ground. We spend the rest of the day and that night enjoying the priest's hospitality and discussing the mysteries of the goddess as the weather outside deteriorates further.
After spending so long, you know, taxiing a plane out of the hangar or pulling the gliders up to the runway and winch launching them, to the freedom that you get from having a glider that's that big and being able to hike up to the top fly, land, camp, fly again. It was just unbelievable. So from watching that documentary, I saved up, got a course on the South Downs in England, and I spent a year travelling back and forth between London. Now, every pilot from the UK knows that weather is a real problem and training takes a long time, but paragliding was it took even longer. So I'd get a train down on the weekend and it would be too windy, so I'd get a train back home. Get train down in 2 weeks and it would be raining, so I'd get a train back. So after a year of that, I just gave in, and a friend of mine had flown with Fly Spain in the Algodonales in the south of Spain. So I actually headed down there on my bike 2 years ago now, cycled across from Portugal, northern Portugal, northwest coast of Spain, all the way down to the south over 3 weeks. And when I got there, I learned on the school kit, did my EP, or stayed there for the next week, and did my club pilot, and ended up coming away with some kit. And I spent the next year flying mainly in Spain and in Menorca, where we go on holiday as the family. Before I got ready for this trip, I went online and I asked a few friends, asked some instructors the best kit to buy for fitting on the back of a bike, and I figured out this wing and this harness would do the job, and they just about fit in my bag. Since then, I've cycled 12,000 kilometers. I've flown in Bulgaria, I've flown in Turkey, I've flown in Georgia, and I've just reaching the 50-hour mark, which is still very early days for a paraglider, well, for any aviation really. But to finally make it to Bur and to see the temples and to fly over them myself, see the mountain range in the back, it's just the feeling I can't really describe. It's I can't even imagine myself getting here when I first watched that documentary. It's a good feeling. But now it's time for a shower. But you're not coming. See you next week.